What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of the Premier League Perspective, where we're going to take a look at the weekend's games, give a bit of review on them, and also we've got our scores from Predict the Prem, which is 5 points for a correct result, 3 points for a correct scoreline, and 5 points for a correct scoreline, 3 points for correct result and both teams to score, 1 point for a correct result, and obviously 2 points for every goal the Starman scores and 1 point for every assist that the Starman does as well. So let's get straight into it. Let's start talking about the Chelsea against Manchester City game. Sim went 2-0, I went 1-0, but Man City took the game 1-0. All of us getting no points on that one.
Very impressive display by Man City.
It was, and Chelsea didn't really turn up for this one, did they?
No, they had a very defensive formation. They got dominated by Man City throughout the game. And apart from a couple moments where Werner was able to get away on the counter-attack, they struggled big time to get any sort of control on the game. And Man City pretty much started the game on top with possession. But, you know, even against Chelsea, you expect them to do that. But there was no moment where they allowed Chelsea out of their half and anything like that. And you got to say, Chelsea were very disappointed with what they gave. And Man City, well, you know, show their title credentials again in this game. And it was, I think it was the first time I think we really saw Jack Grealish maybe like have a serious game for City.
That, and also it's the first time this season we've really seen Chelsea put in a lackluster display, really.
Yeah. And the goal from Jesus as well, very despite it was a deflection, very impressive turn, very impressive close control, and maybe he's trying to put his hat in the ring to say, look, I'm still here and I can be your striker.
Do you think that because I've seen a lot of this online saying that Chelsea gave Man City a bit too much respect in this game? Do you think that was the case?
I think, yeah, because if you think about basically how they started the game, how they finished the game against Spurs, formation-wise, they added Kante back in there, but then they took away an outlet that they could have used to really stretch Man City. I felt like Werner and Lukaku were very close together in the front two, but once they were both nullified, they're no other threat. Maybe if they had Werner a bit wider with another one on the right-hand side, I could have had a lot more joy. I thought they did well to contain City in the first half, but in the second half, City upped their game really a lot more. And then all of a sudden, with no outlet, they were done for. And despite a late rally, they never really had any chances, Chelsea.
Yeah. And
that was the first time I'm thinking, okay, I thought Chelsea were going to win, not walk the league, but I thought they were going to win it. Now I'm thinking, that was impressive by City. Really impressive.
Very true. Let's move on. Let's go to Old Trafford. Manchester United against Aston Villa. The game finished 1-0 to Aston Villa. Yeah. Sim went 2-1 to United. I went 3-1 to United. So another no score round for us on that one. But very impressive from Aston Villa, wasn't it?
Yeah, they deserved the win. They very much were on top, especially in the second half. First half was a bit more even, but second half, it was all Villa. They pretty much had all the chances. United were lucky to get a penalty right at the end after Villa had gone 1-0 up, which was a bit of controversy because Watkins was standing in front of De Gea in a offside position, but referee decided to give the goal, which I'm happy about because it went near post. De Gea was never saving it anyway. It would have been one of those goals where it's ruled out of a technicality, not because Watkins actually stopped De Gea from saving it. It was never going to save it, but they deserved the lead when they took it. They were dominating possession, and then they got that penalty, which was very lucky, I think. And Bruno, I've never seen a player sky a penalty like Bruno did. Do you think he buckled under the pressure of Ronaldo watching over him?
I don't know. I mean, you saw the Martinez shithousery.
Yeah, Martinez was begging Ronaldo to take it.
It was all funny. I mean, but it's strange to see because the last two Man United games, the scoreline is completely not given maybe what the game has deserved with 2 missed penalties right at the end. Mark Noble last week and Bruno Fernandes this week. It's interesting, isn't it?
Plays on his mind though. He's obviously #1 penalty taker ever since he's come to United. He scores most of them. Then now Ronaldo's there, and everyone knows Ronaldo's very famously reliable. Well, not reliable, but very famously a penalty taker. He takes, penalties wherever he's been. Do you reckon that plays on his mind? When maybe
I don't know if that plays on his mind, but I think maybe what played on his mind is when Bruno Fernandes went to take that penalty, Ronaldo was clearly saying to him, I want the penalty, I want the penalty. So maybe that was playing on his mind, and he was like thinking, I better score this now. Ronaldo wants his penalty.
It was weird because, he usually does that hop skip, and he didn't do that at all. He just went out and blasted it straight over. And it was not even near the crossbar. I've never seen a penalty like that. Yeah. Nowhere near anything. It was the worst. I think one of the worst I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what now, Ronaldo's definitely taking the next
Ronaldo,
penalty.
That's the thing. So, and then he did a whole apology on social media after missing a penalty, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. But, Yeah, but United, you know what? Ollie's lost 3 of the last 4 games in the league and cup, so he's got to up his game.
Yeah, and obviously Ronaldo was my star man in this week as well, and that happens. Thank you, Bruno. But let's move on to Everton against Norwich, which finished 2-0 to Everton on the day. Sim went 1-0, so he gets 3 points, but I went 1-1, which wasn't to be. I mean, it was 1-0 going into the last 20 minutes, so I don't know how Norwich did or anything. But
yeah, I mean, I was watching a bit of it, and Norwich were well in the game. I think Everton, they got a penalty. I didn't see.
So it could have been 1-1.
Yeah, it could have been. I didn't see the penalty. It was one of those games where Norwich were dominating possession a lot, but they didn't really create anything. But they're looking dangerous. It was one of those where if it was Spurs, you'd be like, oh, they deserve to equalise, even though they haven't really created anything. But they were dominant. You could see it was coming, but they got a penalty. I don't know if it was deserved, but obviously Andros Townsend scores again, 4th goal for Everton.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
4th in 4 games, isn't it?
Something like that. Unbelievable for him. And then it was kind of very even up until the last 10 minutes, and then they got the second, and it was game over after that. And Norwich, they seem so weak and easy to play against, I must say. They play, again, a bit like Spurs, play some nice football. Once you start getting aggressive with them and put them under pressure, they crumble, and it happens again.
Great, we're being compared to Norwich now.
Yeah,
that's how far it's come. But look, you get 3 points for that one. Let's move over to Leeds against West Ham. 5 pointers all round for this one. Finished 2-1, and we predicted 2-1, both of us. And impressive again from West Ham with a late comeback.
Must say, Leeds were much better. Leeds were a better team for the first half an hour. West Ham, right at the end of the first half, had 2 great chances to equalise. They didn't put it to bed. They didn't equalise, sorry. So Leeds go in at half-time 1-0 up. And then second half, it was very even, but both teams had chances. But West Ham just find a way at the moment.
Antonio once again.
Last minute, just before stoppage time, putting it away in the last minute. Obviously, it was an own goal to equalise, but they deserved the equaliser, West Ham. And a last minute goal and a nice finish as well. Really nice run and finish by Antonio. Got to say, they keep plugging away, West Ham. Really, really impressive. Because I really thought it had the air of Leeds' first win of the season in that first half. It had that feeling about it, like Leeds were up for it. They weren't going to let it slip. But West Ham find a way to come back in the game, and it was very, very impressive.
I know. We need to start getting some points on the table. We just want to keep up with bloody West Ham.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Let's move over to Leicester against Burnley. Finished 2-2 on the day. Both of us predicted 2-0 to Leicester. And I was impressed with Burnley in this one. I was really impressed with Burnley, how they came back into the game and stuff. So credit to them. And that goal from Maxwell Cornet, unbelievable.
Yeah, great goal. And obviously I remember him scoring against Man City for Lyon in a Champions League quarter-final, so he's like a decent player, Cornet. But yeah, Burnley fighting hard to get their first win in the season, so close to it as well, because in stoppage time,
Jamie Vardy
Wood scored in stoppage time,
yeah,
and it got ruled out for offside. It was rightly ruled out, but obviously Vardy scored 2 and got an own goal as well in this game. They came, to be fair to Leicester, coming back from behind twice against Burnley is not the easiest thing to do, and they managed to do that. But they'll be disappointed for sure with a
home game against Burnley. You expect 3
they'll be
points.
disappointed. But they're still they watching the game. I think it was one of those where Burnley played well. Burnley would play well, take the lead, then sit back. Leicester would pile on the pressure, get the equaliser. Then Burnley would up their game again, take the lead up the game and take the lead very quickly after conceding, and then sit back again and soak up the pressure, and then Leicester would go and score. So and then exactly happened. Leicester scored, then Burnley up their game again and scored, but it was ruled out for offside. So I think Burnley have to learn from that and not sit back every time they score.
Yeah.
But Leicester will be disappointed with the draw, yeah.
Definitely, but I was impressed with Burnley. I really was. Watford Newcastle, which finished 1-1 on the day. I predicted 2-2. Sim predicted 2-0 to Newcastle.
And you know what? It should have been Newcastle win here.
Should have been.
Should have been.
Should have been. I mean, Saint-Maximin missed a lot of good chances, didn't he?
They dominated that game. Apart from late in the game when Watford got back into it, it was all Newcastle. They missed so many chances. And even late on, Murphy had that one-on-one, which he completely scuffed. And Watford, look, they did drag themselves back in the game, but they didn't deserve it. They deserved to lose that game.
They had enough chances, both teams, but in the first half, Newcastle really were pile on the pressure. But I felt Watford came back into it second half.
They did, but they didn't deserve. I think Newcastle will be very angry they didn't win that game, I reckon. I think Newcastle will be kicking themselves with the chances they missed. They didn't win. So, unfortunately for them and me, they didn't win. But look, good news for you.
Exactly. Fortunate for me, I get 3 points.
Nice header from Ismail Sarr.
Yeah, it was. I get
power on that.
3 points in this one, so that makes it 87-72 as we move over to Brentford against Liverpool, which was the last game, which finished 3-3. I went 2-0, Sim went 2-0 to Liverpool, but it finished 3-3 on the day. I mean, what a game of football. Definitely one of the best games of football so far this season. And I felt that Liverpool, to be honest, I only watched the first half in this one, and I thought Brentford and Liverpool were just both going at it, hammer and tong. And I missed a good bit in the second half, obviously, because it was only, I think it was 1-1 at half time. But credit to both teams because they put in a great display of football.
If any Spurs showed that fight, Brentford, look, we know Spurs are better players than Brentford, but look how Brentford never give up. Even against Liverpool, Liverpool kept taking them back again and again and again, and they kept coming back. They stuck to their plan. They kept going for 100%, and they got their rewards. The tactical plan from Thomas Frank was brilliant. Even though Liverpool were clearly a superior team and were able to create chances at will, and they'll be disappointed they didn't win. Brentford never gave up. They just kept going, kept plugging away, kept creating chances, and they're going to be a hard team to play against this season, Brentford, because they were so impressive again.
They really were.
Really were impressive. Despite Liverpool's, strong backline, they kept breaching it time and time again. And Liverpool just couldn't shake them off. It's like an annoying wasp, an annoying bee, should I say? And they just couldn't shake them off throughout the whole game. Liverpool, and just it doesn't matter how many times they took the lead, Brentford always came back, and wow, and you've got to commend them for that.
Yeah, and as well, Brentford, like, they've struggled to get goals this season. Suddenly they come up against Liverpool, scored 3 goals. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And they could have got more. I remember when Mbeumo had a shot clear off the line.
Yeah.
Like, Ivan Toney as well.
So dangerous, those two up front, Mbeumo and Toney.
Why did we not just break the bank for Toney? He is looking like a serious Premier League striker.
Yeah. Both of them, to be honest. I like the look of both of them.
Mbeumo also looks decent.
All right, let's move over to the Sunday. Southampton against Wolves. It finished 1-0 to Wolves on the day. You went 1-0 Southampton. I went 0-0, but it was 1-0 to Wolves. I didn't see much of this game because we were on the way to the Emirates, but not many goals in it like we expected.
Yep, and Wolves ended up... we didn't see much of it, but I did see the goal, and I got to say, Jimenez looked sharp, and a great assist from Jose Sarr.
It's nice to see him back on the score sheet.
And yeah, he looked good, mate. For that goal, he looked really sharp and really impressive. So we saw he was starting to get frustrated against Brentford last week, or whenever that was, 2 weeks ago. So I'm happy for him that he's shaken that off. He got a really nice goal, back on the score sheet, back in the goals, and a good win for Wolves. Yeah,
definitely. And I had Sarr in my fantasy team, got a clean sheet and an assist. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him. North London derby finished 3-1 to Arsenal, obviously. You went 2-2, I went 2-1 to Spurs. I think we can just quickly breeze past that one.
Yeah, and I Son captain in my team. And Star Man.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So, it's not bad.
Last game of the weekend was Crystal Palace against Brighton. Finished 1-1 and 5 points comes my way. And clawing back the points on Sim. Sim went 1-0 to Brighton. And this game was interesting because I thought Palace were brilliant last night. I did think that. And I thought Palace were the better side yesterday.
Interesting.
And I thought Palace, especially in the first half anyway, and I thought they probably should have been more than 1 goal up when they were, but credit to Brighton, kept plugging away, got that last kick of the game win by Neil Maupay and draw. Last kick of the game, great goal, great finish, dink over the keeper, and credit to Brighton who keep plugging away.
Yeah, and I think even with Brighton, like even yesterday when maybe they didn't have their best performance, they're still like committed to playing good football. You know what I mean? They get the ball down, get players near to each other, try and get passing patterns. And I got to say, Palace defended pretty well throughout the game and restricted Brighton to creating too many chances. But like Brighton, they're just so nice to watch, even when they're not playing that well.
I was enjoying the Palace performance yesterday. I thought Conor Gallagher was really good. I thought Wilfred Zaha, probably the best I've seen him play this season. And I was impressed with Palace. I really am. And as the season keeps going on, I mean, they're surprising me and they're really impressive.
They're catching up on us, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's the truth.
And Palace were your tip to go down. You still think they'll go down?
At the moment, well, look, Norwich are nailed on, but after Norwich, who's there? Maybe, I don't know. It's tough to see.
Watford.
Yeah, Watford maybe as well because they're just too inconsistent. And then, yeah, I guess Palace look like they're going to stay up at the moment. That's for sure.
And then the star men I picked Cristiano Ronaldo. Sim picked Heung-min Son. So Sim gets the 2 points for Heung-min Son. I get 0 points for Ronaldo. Thank you very much to Bruno Fernandes for that one. But as this week finishes, the scores are 89 to Simeon, 77 to me. So I am catching up that little bit. You getting worried, Sim?
12 points? No, not at all. It's a race to the mate. I'm gonna get 100 points first. That's the real.
You might get 100 points first, but
Milestones,
you won't finish
mate.
on top right at the end of the season, and that's
We'll
what
see.
matters.
On top right now. That's
you
what
are.
matters.
Doesn't matter. All right, that's it from the Premier League's perspective. Thank you very much for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.